Right, we're moving to the main segment, and basically the theme of today's discussion, which is underrated. And the question of the day, if I was to call it that, is, I'm going to pose that to you, Danny. What makes a shoe, trainer, sneaker underrated?
It's hard, isn't it? It depends where you're from and what's your background and what you collect. Something that's underrated to someone is not underrated to somebody else. I think the generic, so what I've got today, even in my community, I'm different. I'm not from London, I'm from Leeds, like a different community up there. Massive Adidas originals, terrace culture. But what I've got today, just nobody picked up. And I was looking at them, no one's picked these up, or what's going on here? And I picked them up in the sales. I think they were just so underrated. And that's, I'm sure that happens everywhere. There's little pieces that you think, what? How has people not picked this up? Is that, you know, what's going on? What's going on? Why are people not grabbing shoes? And like I said, I guess it's different around the country, wherever you guys are from. So there's something sat in your store. I've not been to London for years. I went to Foot Patrol today, and they had ZX 10,000 sat on the shelf. What? This would not happen up north. You wouldn't even see them on the shelf. Do you know what I mean? So it's saying it where you're from. Does it drop in a sale? Does it not sell out straight away? Things can look underrated. Is it a failure? If it doesn't sell out, boom, day one. Is it a failure? Is it in the class as underrated?
What makes something underrated? I don't know, I've been thinking about it, and I'm thinking, is it something that doesn't have a story attached to it? Probably yes, probably no. If you look around the room, everyone said that these trainers are underrated. And if you think about the story, apart from the Pompidoos, I don't think anything has the Foot Patrol's there. Maybe something that hasn't got a major story attached to it, hasn't got a big marketing budget behind it, something that sits on the shelf, could be something that is classed as underrated. For example, I'm wearing the King Push, I can't remember what they're called. Yeah, the EQT, what was the tagline behind it? Black something, or whatever it was. I can't remember. Anyway, so when
Black Market,
that was it. When the first pair came out, the cocaine ones, or cocaine white, everyone went crazy about it. The resale was insane, so everyone thought these would go the same way. And I remember being outside Adidas Fubert's place, there were about 6 of us. I think it was, I can't remember, Papadels was there and some other people. And I was thinking, well, where is everyone? For me, this is a classic trainer. They went into sale. But then, if you think about it, if this trainer released last year when Pusha T buried Drake, would it have sold out? Arguably, probably would have sold out. It would have been everyone's grail. Oh, yeah, I had to have it, and then the attachment to Pusha T. So maybe something that hasn't got a big story behind it. I don't know what anyone else thinks.
I think in that instance, I don't think it would have sold out. But I think that's purely because I don't think there's enough people who have an attachment to that model. Right. I think now it's the silhouette which makes a huge difference. For example, look at the Atmos box pack that came out, like the Air Max 90, the Max 1. I was in the Nike outlet store in King's Cross this morning, and both pairs are sitting in there. And I was like, when was the last time you ever saw an Atmos related shoe in a sale, or let alone in an outlet or anything like that? So it's just different people's interpretations, and I think it's what the shoe kind of means to people as well.
If you was around when the first shoe came out, like there's some silhouettes of Adidas that probably sit on shelf because nobody remembers like the ZX100 range that came out back then, and they really touched upon new colorways and driven it through the last 10 years or so. So many people won't know of many of the shoes that I would have grown up and loved, like going mad about. Sometimes like, I think what was it, EQT ZX 930 that just dropped. Like, I remember them in '88, like at school, going to JD Sports when they were in the plaza for the first time when they first came out. They were in this like complex, like, so you go there, they had untold Adidas on shelf. Like if a pair of Adidas ZX 600s drop, that's kind of a niche market. There's a small community of people that are into that, so they will go and collect that. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas you got other shoes like Adidas WebTech Many people in there won't even know what Adidas Spectre is. Do you know what I'm saying? I remember it. I'd be going bonkers for it. Do you know what I'm saying? If it ever dropped again. But it's what's relevant in the community online. I think fashion-wise, people don't tend to go for what they want because they're more interested in likes and stuff on Instagram. I don't think there's enough individuality in the sneaker game at the moment either. Like, and if everyone really wants that, oh, I really want that pair that nobody's got, go make an ID then, innit? Because that don't seem to be as popular as it should be. Because it's an individual thing, but people are scared to be individual because people might not like it. But yeah, I think the game has kind of lost its way sort of thing, but I don't think there's many people showing or teaching the younger generation of sneakerheads the way how it used to be.
I think what you've got to remember as well is that when you were looking at those models that no one else was, the brands were marketing those not to you. They were marketing it to those who said, if I buy those, am I going to run faster? And that's all it was. Because they were just sports shoes. Fashion wasn't part of it unless you were a breaker in the 80s, skateboarding, BMXing, then you started looking at it. But yeah, that's why, well, you and I will remember it. We will remember that ZX 1000, for instance, stuff like that. But no one else would because it was sports.
But then you're back in that thing then for the nostalgia, right? What it meant to you at that moment in time. So there are other ways by which we all look at shoes and they evoke various different things. There's the nostalgia thing, but then sometimes you see a thing, newer models. It's obviously not a nostalgic thing, but then you see a respect for something that's so powerful that it draws you in, regardless of you've seen. I almost think picking underrated trainers is actually what makes us more connoisseurs than just consumers like everyone else. We've got a different set of values. We're programmed differently where we look at shoes and do stupid things with shoes. The amount of money you spend on a month on shoes, just doesn't make sense.
It don't make sense. Exactly. If you don't grab it by its retail, then it's going to be 4 times as much for it. You want that shoe and chase for it.
Exactly, but I think it's like I don't know. Look at I think this is one of the most underrated pairs today. I mean, I see that shoe and I get it. It speaks to me. I see the elephant, I see the construction, I see how it's a mix of innovation and a nostalgic thing, and I just think it's absolutely amazing. So I think it's a mixture of those things that makes something underrated. I mean, it's hard these days, right? Like, we must all have so many pairs of shoes. There isn't room in the house for underrated pairs anymore, so they have to mean something to you for them to still be there, because otherwise they're in eBay or they're go down to charity shop or whatever. So I think in this day and age it's actually harder to find room for the underrated pairs, but I think that's where we find our individualism, and that's how we express ourselves in stuff that we have that actually no one else does have, because they just didn't see it.
I don't think anything we actually buy or collect is underrated to us. It's just if people don't recognise what we bought, then it's underrated to the person looking on. You got to remember, trainers are functional pieces of equipment at the end of the day as well. So underrated, maybe it's a spiel some websites may use to then drive up a new model that they're trying to push, like, this underrated model, we're bringing it out now as a collab. Go jump on it now because we want to sell it and want it to be our agenda, so it's not seen as underrated.
So do you think special releases raises hype for a GR version of that particular model?
Let's look at what Supreme do on a regular now. Before it seemed really special what they were doing, but I think we've cottoned on as consumers knowing that, oh well, there's an agenda by Nike to push the tailwind out for this year and next year. Let's give it to Supreme to do a model. Even let's look at the Off-White stuff. It's not so much that it's limited, they've just limited the ways you can buy it. There's loads of them. Well, in this market there's loads of them, but for how you can get it is what makes you want to, or makes many masses want to achieve it.
People see a name attached to something, you want to get it a little bit more than just the one that's on the shelf. Like, trying to think of something, I don't even know. I'll use them as an example. Like, I love workouts. I love people that workouts. I buy GR workouts for sale. People that work like they get like they're on the website, they're like £40. Then I'll see like a Foot Patrol version or Soul Box version or whatever, like you know what I mean, whatever collab, and that makes me want it even more because I can see that they've put a little bit more into the thought process and those type of things, and sometimes just having the collab name just makes it a bit better still.
It's almost like it's gotten to a point where would you actually have bought that silhouette if it didn't have a brand association to it? Would you have bought the Blazers, off-white Blazers? Would you have bought the Vaporflies just because it's got an off-white attachment name to it? We go through all these brands, and there could be models of trainers that you haven't even heard of, but because it's got that brand association, you just want it more.
I've always bought workouts as well, but it's nice when, if you do have a collaboration, when something's brought out where the materials are that much better, doesn't matter what the name that's attached to it, but the whole construction of the shoe is better, the materials are better. I mean, look at the Pata pony hair versions of these on the 25th anniversary as well. Like, everything about that whole release was a premium and luxury version of that original shoe. And when collaborations do that and actually up the branding and up the actual materials on it, I think that's what makes a big difference for that model. It doesn't matter on the silhouette, because you might not have been drawn to that silhouette because A, it looks cheap, or it may not be your style, but when it's bought with certain premium materials, it completely changes the feel and the desirability of the shoe. And it's quite interesting when you do see that with collaborations, because it's not necessarily the name attached, but it's actually the materials that are put into it.
Sure.
Which changes it completely again.
I've always known brands to bring out a collab version of a shoe first and then a GR rendition. Do you think brands have actually got the ordering wrong, in the sense of really they should bring out GR shoes first, then a collab shoe or a special limited edition shoe?
What about the 720 that's just come out? And there's plenty of scope for that to have collabs, isn't there? So you can see collabs of that in the pipeline in like a couple of years' time. But it's just like the newest one now, isn't it? So
I guess so.
Yeah, it reacts as well. They pushed it out as a GR initially before they started doing collaborations, right? Or was the first one the collaboration? Was it a collaboration?
Is there anyone that doesn't even, ladies, I'll pose this to you. What drives you to whatever shoes you buy on a daily, or the last pair of shoes? What drove you to buy your shoes?
The last pair that I bought was the Adidas Livestock Gore-Tex. They retailed at, so yeah, it was a collaboration, and they retailed at £169. I wasn't paying that. Simple. Being a sneakerhead for as long as I've been, I've always set myself a limit. Plus, back then for us, sneakers were half the price of what we pay for them now. So I was waiting for them to go to sale. They didn't go first round, they didn't go second round, they went third round. They went down to £110. I still wasn't paying that. I'm ruthless, I told you. I got my limit, plus I got rent to pay, like, we have lives. So, obviously when you know, at some point most of us have worked in retail or still do, and we have our connects. So I reached out to my friend at Foot Patrol. I said, if these go in sale, can you get them for me on this? And she said they've gone down in sale. It's like, okay, how much is it going to be? £75. So I can do that. I can do that. So it's half price.
yeah.
I'm good with that. That's like an average for me.
I think buying shoes, I mean, it could be the Atmos elephants. I love those. I've got the animals. Had to have them. Just went to New York, found them, cried over the price. Thought, it's one of those things you sometimes set yourself a goal, like, I've got to have it. But equally, I can walk in and say, I can see something on the shelf I like, and not everyone likes it. They don't really care. Watermelons. I mean, they were sitting everywhere on shelves in America, and I couldn't believe it, because that's what people wanted here, and they became hard to get. Curry pack, sack here. but I still like them. And I think it's all subjective, you know, what you like. I mean, I'm looking, I like that colour, I like that shape, but, you know, what we all covet might have a story or a history, or it's my nostalgia. I remember picking up bullets and going, oh, I have to have them in gold, gunmetal, and saving up the pennies for it. And I think, you know, when these new releases come out, and I look at their cabs, I want that. And I think, you know, there is nothing specific, it's just something that's caught your eye, caught your imagination, and whether people relate to it or not, you know, you meet someone because you've got something.
I agree with what Dan said initially. I think exactly where you was going to take it is what is unrated to some might not be underrated to somebody else. I'll give you a classic example of that. Myself, Sol, Van, many a times we've bought Air Max 1s or just sneakers over the years, which we've liked or been passionate about. They've been sitting on the shelf, and the moment one of us posts it up, it's like, oh my days, I need to run out and go and get that. The size exclusives, Air Max 1s, the way you can quote me on this, I wouldn't say they were really difficult to get, but people wasn't really in the beginning really flipping or going crazy over them. The moment yourself picked them up and started taking up pictures, it's like, oh my, I've got to go and get them. So it's one of those things. I think it's subjective, and it's relative to influence as well. I think influence has a lot to do with whether shoes are underrated or not as well.
So I guess, as well as touching on Tess and Danny's point in terms of it being a geographic thing in terms of whether shoes are rated or not, also as well there's a personal attachment to it. So as you've mentioned, Dwayne, and I guess to an adage, one man's sugar is another man's poison. So I look at, like yourself, Cam, Air Max 1s, doesn't matter collab or GR, I'm going to pick them up because the silhouette speaks to me and it's a language I understand. For the next man, it's not, they were like, yeah, whatever.
I think where things go in cycles, I think we're coming into the cycle again where your GRs that are sitting on shelf are going to be tomorrow's growls. In terms of where did they come from? Oh my gosh, they were sitting back when they released. I want them now, they're very hard to acquire. Everyone in this room knows when and what limited stuff is coming out. It's the GRs that you'll walk past that give it a 2 to 5 year lifespan, and it'll be like, wow, I didn't know those came out in 2018, or when did you get those? Oh, they were sitting on sale. So I think we're going through that cycle. Back in the day, we were hunting after Foot Locker exclusives, JD exclusives, all of that. I know you like have sex on a different level, so like, do you see things going in cycles? Do you see what draws you to a shoe? Because I know what you're rocking now. When they came out, it's like, not too sure about it, but here we are. That when you see them now, it's like, wow, okay.
Yeah, they're mad. Like, realistically, I think these are like definitely one of the most underrated shoes of the year because the materials are ridiculous, but they didn't get a second look. Like when they dropped, no one cared, no one. Well, there were maybe a couple posts because people knew where it came from, and there is history behind this and a whole pack.
Yeah.
But in general, like a lot of people were just chasing hype instead.
Yes.
And hype is obviously a lot more louder, but like stuff like this in 5 to 10 years time, like you look at the King of the Mountains now and the KRSS and Running and Gun, like you look at them now and now it's like, rah, this is mad, like how many pairs are there about? And I get my size. They came out in 95s, no one cared.
Yeah.
Like, it's mad, but it's clearly the way everything's going. Like, people are generally more invested in stuff that's more hyped.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it is now.
I think it's definitely crazy how we are looking at things that the GR is more rare than a hype release these days. And going back to wanting to be an individual, need to look no further than going into any shop you could walk in and picking up something on the shelf than trying to acquire a Desert or Off-White or Vapor Max. You don't need that no more to really be driving an individual personal look amongst each other. And I think that's what drives more stories and more interest, and goes back to how a lot of us started out.
To be honest, I'm happy that a lot of the GRs are sitting, because it's allowing people to probably get them cheaper, because there's a lot of kickstarting on the sale. So it's allowing people a chance to go, you know what, I'll get it now because I can get it cheaper, and it's something that I really like, and I know it might be something that people might rate later on in 2 to 5 years time. Like I said, those Air Max 95s, I love them. But when I saw them go on sale, I was just surprised. I was like, whoa, they're going on sale. And then it just went cheaper and cheaper. But the cheapest I've seen them go down to was like £65. I was like, whoa! I was like, sorry, I'm shouting, but I couldn't believe that. I was like, yo, like even these ones that I've got on now, these Air Jordan 3 Justin Timberlakes, I saw them over there, £85. From £220 to £85, Offspring, Brighton. I'm from Birmingham, so I was no way I was going to go travel all the way down and get them, because by the time they were sold out anyway. But there's so many good GRs, but these are not classed as GRs, but even the hype ones, some of them are getting missed, and people are not really, you know, are missing out, because again, I bet you any money with these, they were Travis Scott's, they would not have sat, they would have been sold out instantly. But those 95s there, I have to give them credit there. Slept on big time.
This is like the general question about being a woman and collecting trainers. Sure. I've got a real issue with the colourways and the daintiness. Sometimes, like if you have feet that are 6 or below, I'm a size 5. So what I collect in terms of like Reebok workouts, for example, I've got a pair with a gold top and a black suede, and they're mash up now. They're like peeling apart, but I can't get shoes that I really like, because they're mostly men's ranges. So this is just a general shout out to all the brands.
Fair enough. Well, I wish sometimes some of the girls' colourways came in both sizes, because some of the girls' colourways are fire.
I've got a considerable amount of shoes that are too big for me, and I look down and I think they look like skis, but they're stuffed with insoles because I had to have those shoes. Jordans, you know, if the smallest size is a 6, I'm a 5.5. They're still flapping around. The toe box is too big. I don't care.
4.5 to 6 is a bit much.
So maybe, as well as I guess maybe as well, brands need to take into consideration not just how they release products in terms of it being